The Checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.
Interesting indeed. Now let us turn to the international perspective. Our reporter Salome Metskvarishvili worked for the Checkpoints, and we have the opportunity to offer our viewers and followers an interview with Wizz Air.
About very good news, by the way, David. The thing is that the Hungarian low-coster airline Wizz Air is adding a new destination from Kutaisi International Airport to Abu Dhabi from 16th of December. The Ministry of the Economy of Georgia hosted the representatives of the airlines 10 days ago.
Apart from the new flights, Elene, Wizz Air announced restarting the routes to Vienna, Barcelona and Berlin. How the airlines assess Georgian business climate and how do they plan to compete with the other low-costers in Georgia? Andras Rado, Corporate Communications Manager at Wizz Air, answers our question.
First of all, thank you for taking our questions, and I'm really glad to see you in person because due to COVID-19 we had no opportunity to see each other and we had conversations only online.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's so good to be back to Tbilisi and to see you in person because yeah, Zoom is not the same as being here in Tbilisi.
Yes, of course, I agree. So let's start. You have just announced that you are starting flight to the new direction. It's Abu Dhabi. And why Abu Dhabi? And from which date can we plan our trip to United Arab Emirates? Because we know that you had flights only to Europe.
We were very delighted to announce the start of our Abu Dhabi route as of the 16th of December. And we think that it's a very interesting city. It's a fantastic country, and we wanted to give the opportunity to Georgian people to enjoy their lives a bit after this very long period of lockdowns and restrictions, both in Georgia and anywhere else in the world. And of course, Georgia is a fantastic country. I've been here many times in the past years, and I know that it is worth coming here. And we wanted to give the opportunity to the people in the United Arab Emirates. And I'm not talking only about locals, but there's a huge expat community in Abu Dhabi. So millions of people live, millions of foreigners live in Abu Dhabi. And we want them to have an opportunity to visit Georgia in the winter or any time in the summer. And I think for Georgians it will be a fantastic opportunity to fly out to a hot seaside destination in the middle of the cold winter.
And you're restarting flights to Europe route too. This is Berlin, Vienna, Barcelona. Why now? Why did you decide to restart these flights today?
We've been checking continuously where we could fly from Georgia. After this long lockdown, we gradually started reopening routes between Kutaisi and different destinations in Europe. And now we see that both Georgia has eased on the restrictions. It was very easy for me yesterday to come into the country. I just showed my vaccination paper, and it didn't even take me 10 minutes to get into the country. And the same happens now in Europe, different governments ease entry requirements, and we simply live with these opportunities. We simply want to give an opportunity to Georgian people to visit these countries.
Wizz Air restarted regular flights from Georgia in spring, as I remember.
Yes.
So how can you assess the demand after several months?
We see a growing demand. And there are different reasons. First of all, like in many other countries, people in Georgia also want to travel. We see that there is a need for traveling. We see that people love to travel, and the past year in all of the world kept us in our countries, kept us in our homes. And once the doors open, once they push the play button again, everybody wants to go out. We saw that during the summer from Georgia and in other countries as well. So we saw that the number of passengers did rise people were enjoying the beaches in Greece, in Spain, in Italy, or in many other countries. This is one reason. The other reason is that there are people working abroad, so it's easier to return to work to Germany, for example, or return from Germany to Georgia. And finally, I think this is a very good news, city breaks are possible. Due to the vaccination papers, due to the easy PCR tests and no quarantine requirements, you can go for a weekend to any European city, and I think we've all been missing that.
In July and August, in Georgia, epidemic situation got worse, and we had 5,000 new COVID-19 cases. Has the customers' behavior changed because of these facts?
No. Wizz Air has introduced very stringent health and safety measures on board their aircraft back in 2020. So we were one of the first airlines to introduce the compulsory masks, and we see that our passengers, the vast majority of our passengers, understood that it's for the common good, that everybody has to wear a mask all through the flight, and they are fine with that.
They are wearing masks on the board, but if in country is not good epidemic situation, did they change their mind to come in Georgia? I mean that.
People who are traveling are either vaccinated or having a negative test. So I don't feel that entering to Georgia or leaving Georgia to another country would create any risk.
Several years ago, Wizz Air was the only low-coster airline in Georgia, but now situation has changed. In the last months, we in our country entered in our market several low-coster airlines. So, what would be your strategy, and what would be your competitive advantage now?
We concentrate on our business, and we are happy that some other airlines also entered Georgia. It might sound strange, but we like competition because we believe that competition is for the benefit of all. Competition makes all players keep their mind sharp. They need to stay focused, which means they have a very sustainable business. It means that prices will need to stay low if there's a competition. So it's all good for the passengers. We have a competitive advantage that our cost base is really low, which means that we can keep our prices low, our fares low for the passengers. We have an established brand in Georgia. People know who Wizz Air is. We have a lot of routes. We are planning to add more routes. We are committed to developing our presence in Georgia. We are actually committed to hiring more people from Georgia. We have a lot of new positions in the airline. We need to hire 2,000 people per year because we are growing our fleet to 500 aircraft in the next decade. We currently have 144 aircraft, and we'll have 500 by 2030. So we need people. We need Georgian people. We need Georgian people in the flight deck. So we need pilots. We need cabin crew, and we would mostly welcome Georgian people in our office, in our headquarters in Hungary as well.
What is the amount of investment you have done in Georgia already?
It's hundreds of millions of euros. It's hard to estimate. We usually count it with the number of aircraft, but it's indirect investment as well. I mean, we pay wages here, we pay taxes here, we support the local tourism, and tourists spend a lot of money here in Georgia. So that's also kind of indirect investment here.
How would you evaluate Georgian business climate generally in your sector, of course? And what would be your recommendations to our government, and not only for them?
I think it's a very, very good business climate, and I've been coming here for the past 3 years, and every time I felt that it's very welcoming, very open, very transparent business culture here. where you can easily make business. We are very happy with the developments in Georgia. Unfortunately, COVID really pushed the pause button for us, but I think we're already playing again, and we hope that we can start more routes. I mean, we had over 40 routes in 2019 from Kutaisi. That's fantastic. We had that amount of routes from Austria and from some other really big bases. We plan to have that set up again. It just needs time. It just needs a bit more time, and we hope. We see that the government is very supportive. We see that the business climate in Georgia is very supportive.
Sometimes when investors are talking about Georgia, they said that there is a very small market and this is some kind of issue. Is that a problem for Wizz Air too?
I don't think it creates any barriers for us. It of course will add the limit until where we can develop. But I don't think we're there yet. We're far away from that imaginary limit, and I think let's separate into two. I think there are Georgians traveling abroad. That's one market, but there's an infinite market of foreigners traveling to Georgia, and we are together with the government, together with the tourism, the Ministry of Tourism, and all government stakeholders. We're working hard to get more people to Georgia, to make people aware what a beautiful country this is.
And the last question, tell us more about your plans in Georgia. What can you say?
There's nothing I can tell you yet, but what I can tell you is that we're working on adding more flights, restarting more routes. We're in touch with the government, we're in touch with destination markets, and we're continuously monitoring our options to add more flights. We're dedicated to Georgia, and we really plan on the long run with Georgia.
Thank you for interesting answers, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
The Checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.